In case you didn't already know, the internet, YouTube in particular, is a great source of information to learn about things that the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. Leaks about new products, which is what I'm going to talk about in a minute, but other things that the government or special groups might be trying to hide. Without the internet, without YouTube, without Facebook, you would never know these things. For example, without the internet, we would never know that when the planes fly by overhead and you see those trails behind them, those condensation trails, we would never know that that was actually the government trying to control the population with their chemicals, making our children sick. You'd never know that. Without the internet, without YouTube, without Facebook, we would never know the true shape of the Earth. As a matter of fact, I just recently learned, based on comments posted on one of my videos recently. I live in Southern California. I posted a video a week or two ago about Salton Sea, the largest lake in California. What I learned based on comments that viewers left is that sometime between World War II and today, the government has built tunnels that go from the China Lake Naval Air Facility or whatever, the big China Lake military base near Death Valley, tunnels going from Death Valley underneath to Salton Sea, and from Salton Sea to the ocean. They built these tunnels so that they could get their submarines from the China Lake facility into Salton Sea and then out to the ocean. Now, there's no mention of how these 300 or 400 miles of tunnels were built without anybody noticing. But if it weren't for the internet, I wouldn't know about these things. Now, I don't want to turn my channel into a product leaking channel. Probably never do a video like this again. But I've built this great new studio in my basement crawl space. I might as well make use of it. Got nothing else to do. Still on lockdown. So let me tell you a story about some photos that I received recently. I was working with Wouxun a while back on their new KG-1000M radio. I did a review of it. It was a new radio just released on the market. They sent me a bunch of pictures as I was talking to them, as I was in discussions with them. They sent me pictures of the radio. I didn't care about pictures of the radio. They said they were going to send me a radio. I didn't really look at the pictures because why would I care? That was a few weeks ago. I went to delete them. I actually looked at them on my big screen computer, my Apple computer. Because as you know, when you have an iPhone, take a picture or save a picture, you can automatically see it on my iMac. So as I was going in there to delete them, I saw them much bigger. And I noticed something. I noticed something strange, something that I'm going to tell you about. I noticed two things. One, I noticed that the guy that I was working with in their, I don't know if it was their customer support department or their marketing department, doesn't know how to take a photo because half the photos were so blurry. The other thing that I noticed was that there was some stuff in the background that I don't think he meant for me to see. And that stuff in the background had to do with MURS, a MURS radio, a new MURS radio coming to market from Wouxun. If you don't know what MURS is, I barely know what MURS is because I honestly didn't think anybody ever used it anymore. But every time I make a video about M.u.r.s, 2 or 3 people will chime in and leave their comments. We all know how valuable and meaningful comments on YouTube are. They'll leave comments that MURS, well, how come I never talk about MURS? MURS is the best thing, the best radio band you can have. The reason I never talk about it is because nobody cares about it except those 3 people that keep saying it's the best there is. MURS is a lower frequency band in the 100 something megahertz. I don't know, leave a comment. Clear it up for us because I don't know, I don't care. Lower frequency than M.u.r.s. So I think that means it will actually travel farther. It will propagate, give you a better distance in communicating, but it's limited to lower power, 0.5 watt or 2 watts or something like that. So even though the lower frequencies of MURS, M.u.r.s, multiple units, I don't know what MURS stands for. Leave a comment and tell us. I didn't research this video at all. I just came in and turned on the camera and want to show you this stuff. I'm bored. So even though the signal of MURS frequency may propagate further, because it's limited to low power, it's still probably distance-wise not as good as a M.u.r.s radio at 5 watts or a mobile radio at 50 watts. Plus, I don't think you can use repeaters on MURS. If I'm wrong, leave a comment. Let us know. So anyway, back to whatever my point was. I'm looking at these pictures. I'm going to look at them on my phone, but I'm going to show them on the screen. And you'll see the first few pictures are the person holding up the Wouxun KG-1000M. Nothing particularly outstanding about this photo. I didn't use it. I didn't want pictures. I wanted the damn radio. They did eventually send it to me. The next picture, you see the back. The next picture is the side. Yes, a lovely side picture of a KG-905G. The next picture is where, initially when I viewed it, I thought, what a moron, he doesn't even know how to take a picture. But on my big screen computer, when I looked at it, I saw that the radio was out of focus, which is what I cared about. However, the background was not out of focus. And when I zoomed in and looked at that, which I didn't really have to do on my iMac because the screen was so large, I saw MURS written on the whiteboard behind the radio. Not a big deal. They're talking about MURS radios in their weekly meetings at the Wouxun conference room, Ocean conference room. It says MURS changes 2 watts, disable repeater mode, 3 frequencies, narrow band only, no scramble, update reset, software update. And then when I look at the table below that, it looks to me like what is a KG-1000G, which is the M.u.r.s 50-watt radio. But when I zoomed in, I could see the channel on the screen says MURS 01. And when I really zoom in, I can see that on the other side, right next to the frequency, it shows the model number of the radio, which says KG1000M, I assume for MURS. It looks like it's hooked up to a ground plane antenna there on top of some sort of test equipment. And in the next photo, see the same stuff zoomed in. It's actually a bit more clear. It's better focused. The person still doesn't know how to take pictures. On the left side, you can see almost poking up out of the back of the radio. So there's something behind the radio. It looks like 2 microphones, like if they're collecting some sort of audio data, or maybe they were making a video about this radio, or maybe they just left the microphones there from their last recording. I don't know. I don't know that they're related because it is kind of far away. But what I can see here is that that radio sitting on the table says KG1000M. People, that is a MURS radio. So I looked in the FCC database. I was not able to find any applications for a new MURS radio or anything. So maybe this is a test unit. It's still too early on in the process, whatever that process is, to actually have, apply for FCC certification. But I can clearly see that that is a MURS mobile radio. I sent an email to the person that I now deal with Wouxun, and because the person that sent me these emails, these photos, because just a few weeks ago, is no longer there. I asked him if they're planning on making a MURS mobile radio, and he said, we do not sell a MURS mobile radio. He didn't say we're not making one. He didn't say we're not working on one. They're working on one. I can see it. I saw it. So there you go. I just wanted to leak that information out for the 3 viewers that are always looking for a MURS mobile radio. If you use MURS, leave a comment. Tell us why it's so much better than M.u.r.s or ham. If you know any other information about the new KG1000M MURS radio, or if you can find it in the FCC database, leave a link below so we can take a look at it. I'm curious. That's all I got. It's the only leak for today. Once again, the internet, your daily source of misinformation. Or is it? Thank you for watching. We hope to see you on the trail.